All right, guys, welcome to the More Life podcast. From 501 pounds to more life. I'm Shania Sarbacker, a fitness trainer.
I'm Riley. Riley Kerrigan. I was born and raised here in Madison, and Shania's been helping me with this journey. So we're ready to dive in.
All right, Ross, let's hit it from the top. What was life like before we started working together?
I mean, it wasn't ideal. I wasn't happy. That's, I think that I thought I was, but I definitely need some help. And
can you tell us a little bit
what
you were doing, who you are?
Yeah.
What does Riley do?
I bartend. I've bartended for almost 20 years now. My best friend's opened up a restaurant. I've helped them run that for 15 years, and it's a bar on the golf course. I bartend there, serve drinks. Part of my job is to get people in there and keep them having fun.
What were your nights like? Your shifts? Are you working like a long shift?
Yeah, sometimes it depends. All over the place with that. But on the most consistent thing with my shifts would be when I'm done, have some drinks. Right before I'm done, get some drinks, then find somewhere to go get some drinks.
Right. So you're staying up like late?
Oh yeah,
excessively like drinking or?
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing. I've been with drinking. I've been able to drink. I drank since I was like 15, and Milwaukee, it's all we were doing. And in Madison too, it's like to the point where I can drink a lot, and just not just the amount you're drinking, but the amount of volume of anything you're putting into yourself.
Right.
You're putting. If you can eat a lot of bagels and you can just also eat 12 bagels, you go get a dozen bagels. People are like, God, that guy loves to eat a lot of bagels, but I could routinely have 12 drinks.
Yeah.
And be straight, a little buzz up, but it's like that shit takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
And so what it was doing to me that I didn't really realize was just making me forget about everything else, forget about why I feel like this. It was a mask. Alcohol is definitely a mask for me.
Yeah.
What it was is it masked my problems, it masked my stress. Mm-hmm. It masked me not being happy about myself.
Yeah.
When I looked in the mirror, I'd feel better if I had some drinks in me or if I was high, because I didn't really look at myself then. I just thought that's just always straight,
Yeah. You came adapted to that lifestyle.
100%.
Like that's what it was starting to become.
It really was, yeah. It was just like, yeah. I mean, adapted. I'm the definition of that lifestyle. It's like I thought that just what it was. Is how it was supposed to be.
Yeah. Do you think through that then that progressed into unhealthy eating habits then as well?
Yeah. I mean, I like unhealthy food. As I was, my family did the best they could to give me what I needed, but
right.
Who doesn't like smashing some pizza and stuff? And I think that just being around it a lot kind of got me addicted to it almost,
Right. Because working at a restaurant as well, it's bar food, right? So it was it an easier option for you after a shift or during a shift to just resort to the food at the restaurant?
Yeah, but yes. And also though, I never even tried salads. I never ate a salad. I never ate chicken. One of the things that's helped me now is that my team back there, they love to make me something healthy. Just as much as they'd love to make me 12 wings, they'd also love to just grill me up a chicken breast.
Right.
And so it's like, not to backdoor and like trash my situation where working that could also be a catalyst to your health. But I think at the time it was more convenient.
Yeah, right. But we're not, disregarding, the restaurant at all by any means, but you were more so resorted to probably an unhealthier option, right? Yes, there's healthier options, but you were resorting to unhealthier options at the time of the state that you were in.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And,
right.
Late, when you work hours and your schedule's like that, you get the late night food, you get, McDonald's, you get Wendy's on late, Taco Bell. I mean, sometimes I was the most pissed about what place wasn't open late.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn, Taco Bell's closed already? I was so mad.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Yeah. And it's like, your three options to eat at that time are like quick trip delivery, Taco Bell, Wendy's, something like that. It's like,
right.
So yeah, I was going crazy with it.
Yeah. So walk me through. So we would go through a bartending shift. Sometimes you were probably busting a double, right?
Yep.
Which, how long is a double?
8-10 hours. Yeah.
8-10 hours. Yeah. So 8-10 hours, you're on your feet, you're bartending, you're constantly in that environment.
Dealing with people, dealing with situations,
yep.
like any job, but I think that the volume and hospitality too. When people are getting inebriated and shit, they're coming at you. It's like, damn, we need a little stress relief at that.
Yeah, right. Like
know?
at the end of your shift, then you're sitting down and you're having cocktails, which then leads into the 2 a.m. time frame,
Yeah,
right?
that and going somewhere after. Where's the A
Right.
bar at?
A bar.
What bar's still open?
Yep.
Like, we'll close our bar down, go right down the street to the next bar,
Right.
and see our people. You
Yep.
know? And that was like the camaraderie that I was like would give me happiness.
Yeah.
It was like what we had in general was just like, oh, let's get together, let's link up and bitch about our night, let's link up and like, de-vent and talk about this one customer who's trash and like kind of get together and
Yeah.
just go through our struggles together over substance and shitty food.
Yeah. Right. Because then that would resort to then door dashing or stopping in a drive-through or
Throwing in 2 frozen pizzas with the crew when they come over after,
Right,
just
yeah.
like what that is, And,
right.
and then my days back then, it's turned into go hard, then you sleep. My body, you need rest. I'm
Yeah.
very good at sleeping.
Yeah.
Sleep until whenever,
Right.
and then get up and make sure you get your shit right to go do it again.
Right. Which led you to then like sleeping all day,
100%.
right? And then repeat. You're repeating, rinsing like what you did the night before, right? Like those were your days
Yeah.
that followed each other, right?
No, those were my years.
Your years. Yeah. Right.
It was, that's what it was. And, but it wasn't that, like, I didn't think it was that bad. It was kind of fun,
Yeah.
But it also, there's part of me that knew that I wasn't going to go, it wasn't going to be sustainable.
Right.
And like that part of me that knew it wasn't going to be sustainable was sometimes the reason I feel like I would just go hard then. I'd be like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I'm not going to be too dead to do anything tomorrow, so I might as well get fucked up.
Right. Yeah. You almost used it as like a crutch to like avoid what tomorrow was going to bring.
Yeah. I mean, you will, like just same thing as a mask. It's like looking in the mirror and like, if I got a little jag on it, I'm going to look better in the mirror,
Right.
But really, the lights wasn't all the way on, or I wasn't really looking with a clear head.
Right.
And so that's what my days was like.
Through that, right, all of those habits that started to stack on your days, right, years, like you said, so being in the industry for 20 years, at what point did you have that sense of feeling that, numerous of people were here to probably wanting to help you, but at what point were you like, this is not sustainable anymore?
There's a couple of times. I don't think there's one specific point when it got to the point where I had to go to the hospital. I mean, I couldn't even get to fucking work.
Yeah.
And that's what sucked about it, I think, is that I knew it was coming. And I just thought that, whatever, I had this like, it's not Superman type gene, but like, I think that the point where I really realized I really needed to get help was when I couldn't get out of bed to go to work. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, it's because I have COVID, which I did. It's because I have a lifelong sinus infection. It's because I need to get my tonsils out. It's because I'm, this and that. And I think when I couldn't physically get to work.
Do you feel like you were in denial of the fact of like the lifestyle that you were living? Like, because, through
I don't know if I was in denial of it.
I have COVID, I have a sinus infection. I'm using all these other things as maybe excuses in your head of like, I don't want to accept the fact that this is not a healthy lifestyle.
Well, the denial of it was just, why don't you just have a drink and calm down?
Yeah.
And like not even trip about it because you still got to get to work and make sure you can pay your bills.
Yeah.
You still got to support yourself, and I like doing fun stuff. I need income, but also I don't think that denial is probably not the right word. I think it just was kind of not prioritized. Mm-hmm. That that I wasn't living a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah. Were you do you think you were prioritizing your job and appeasing everyone else versus like putting Riley on the front end?
Yeah. I think I definitely was. And I think a lot of people were telling me to slow down and prioritize yourself.
Yeah.
And when you get your best friends coming at you, your employers, not coming at you like scared to come at you because they don't know how you're going to react. They don't know how it's going to hurt you and throw you into a spiral. You know how many times my dad is, over the years, me and my dad got in the biggest beef we've ever had at, my sister's wedding reception after, because we both went back to the Airbnb and I wanted to go back out and it spiraled it. And how many times they've tried to nicely approach me, how many times, like I said, my employers have been, hey, you need to go to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go get a sleep study. And I would just swerve them every time because I think it would just be easier for me to just deny it and go get a drink and just find my next crew of friends to hang out with who ain't going to be on that, and
Yep.
try to bring it down.
Do you know why that you were avoiding it?
No,
No.
I don't know if I ever will. I think that I want to believe it's just part of the plan,
Yeah.
but I think that I haven't burned as many bridges as the normal person by any means. And I have a huge amount of friends and network. As much as that's a giant strength, it's also kind of sometimes it fucks you up because you always have options of something to go do besides go chill. There's always something for me to do, to go link with somebody and kick it. And I love being that man who knows everybody with it and goes around and does this. But at the same time, that I think it got caught this ideas in my head that I got to be out here doing things all the time.
Yeah.
Like even taking the night off, we still, it just wasn't. A night off for me would just be to just sleep,
Yeah.
and crash. But I wouldn't say I was in denial about those choices bringing me back. I think I just thought, I'm so far gone now. Fuck it, live it while you got it. I'm
Yeah.
watching my people level up, start families, and I'm watching, my guys get married, and I'm out here like shit. They're still out showing me love, and I'm still think I'm happy with it. Let's just go get it. Let's go out here and do stuff. And I think that's just kind of the rut I was in, which is this, for me, one of the things I'm most sad about is that I truly believe my best of times is probably behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And that the most, the best I looked and felt was way in my past. I thought I would never be able to do the stuff that I used to be able to do again because I was just getting to where I was at.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking like, damn, well, don't be happy. Don't mope around about it.
Yeah.
So just keep doing it. And it just, And I think that you said if there's one point definitely was when I couldn't get to work. And I had to call into work twice, which I've never really done.
Yeah, what's it like, so at this point, fast forward, right? So over 20 years have stacked, right? Of unhealthy habits, of drinking, excessive drinking, bad food habits, and all the things in between, right? Like late hours, not sleeping, not getting quality sleep, right? But at this point, we're sitting at that time, 400 pounds, around
probably. You never really get on a scale when you're that heavy,
right.
But yeah, it's probably about around 400. Yeah.
Okay, so around like 400 pounds, right?
Yep.
But you're still showing up for work, like still moving around, not letting your people down to a degree of showing up for your work, right? And leading that aspect. Can you walk me through like
how taxing it was?
Right, being
Shit was taxing.
400 pounds.
It's like,
like someone that's 400 pounds still like moving and showing up and busting 8 to 12 hour shifts, like that puts a toll on someone, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that you were still showing up, like you said, like you rarely called into work. Like that was rare for you unless something was really bad.
That's really
like, how did you feel?
Shit, terrible. I mean, hard as hell, like hard. The smallest things just was hard, way harder than they should have been.
Yeah.
And then you find yourself cutting out of things because they're so hard to do.
Yeah.
Like simple as things, like doing your laundry,
right.
Like stuff that you're not even being as lazy as you are. You just don't have the juice to do it because you're so hard to even get going, to even get on that. And it's really taxing. It's really hard. Everything hurts.
Yeah. I mean, you're carrying all that weight, right?
It's not about like fighting or anything like that, but it's like you start to second guess, like if shit hits the fan, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to defend myself?
Right.
If somebody messes with my niece or my sister, or something happens, am I going to be able to actually do this?
Right.
If my dad falls, am I going to be able to help him get up? Like physically, am I going to be able to do that?
Right.
Yeah, it was scary.
So as simple as like day-to-day tasks that would be easy easy for you would think that would be easy, right? But became of a more of a challenge for you at the end of the day, right? Like you said, as simple as doing your laundry or probably like simple adult things, right?
I mean, I remember one of the darkest ones is like I had to pee so bad one night, but I was so drained and out of it
Yeah.
that I was like, I don't gotta pee that bad. This, this is out there, so embarrassing, but it's like you lay in there debating if you really have to have enough energy to get up to go take a piss or not.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And that's so, I have so much like animosity that I let myself think like that. And that's hard for me to get off.
Yeah.
Really, it's like to say
Right.
something like that. But like, I think of it now, it's like, that's where I was at, was I had to debate if I could get up to go pee. Because I had to pee that bad, or if it was just easier for me just to lay there and just deny that I had to pee and then have my fucking sides hurt all night.
Yeah.
It's like, and then finally, thank God I made the decision to get up, but you're like, oh, you roll out of bed, you're like, man, then you get there,
Yeah.
it's just like, man. But yeah, it was hard. It was hard as hell. And it's something that if I have one purpose of getting my story out there, anything, it's like, man, it can get easier, you
Yeah.
know? It can.
For sure.
And it doesn't have to be as drastic as we've been doing it, because the changes that I'm making is part of God's plan and shit. It's happening for a reason, but also the things you start to notice, you're putting your socks on,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
getting in and out of cars, not having to move the seat, not having to worry about things when you sit down like that. That fucks your head up to a point where like it makes you more unhappy than you should be for a long time. So yeah, day to day shit's real hard.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, moving at that weight is very impressive to a degree of like still showing up, right? Because a lot of people would just, like you said, throw the towel in and like this is my life now, right? So like
Towel was thrown in. It was thrown
Yeah.
in. It was all the way in.
for sure.
That's just it's a fact that I just was accepting that I'm going to be this dude who can't shop off the rack at the store.
Yeah.
I have to go to one store.
Yeah, right. So you touch on a couple key things there, right? And I don't think people highlight this enough is the mental state, the mental health, right? And that is a big piece. So can you like just share a little bit like what you were going through, like in a sense of that? Because you're saying like I have to shop at a different store. I can barely get out of bed to just go take a pee, right? Getting in and out of a car was a challenge for you. Showing up for work, right? Like at that degree, what mentally was,
It's what you think it is.
Yeah.
It's not happy.
yeah,
Sucked.
yeah,
Not nearly what I deserve for myself.
right.
And that's something that's hard to get over too.
Yeah,
Why?
but why? Yeah. But that's, part of the journey and you recognize that. And that's something that you aren't suppressing down, right?
It's hard to not hold it back.
Yeah.
It's hard, like, sure, everybody can relate and say, I bet you that was hard. I bet you it is. But it's like, until you're through that shit, it's just like,
no one's in your shoes.
And I know that, but it's also to the point where it's like, even now getting it off and like trying to share this, it's like, what am I doing with this? It's like, what I'm trying to do is let people know that if I'd had somebody that I thought was cool or I liked, or I respected, just kind of share what they went through like this, I would have been like, okay, maybe I can get this jumped a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was mentally not in a good place,
Yeah. Absolutely. Rightfully so. All right. Let's run it back to the top. So, you told us your journey a little bit, right? And that's kind of the main piece of that. So let's rewind to 2025, February. This is where things started to spiral down, right? I know we're in the deep heaviness of this, but walk us through that day.
Sure. The second day in a row of calling into work. My employers were real concerned. My family was real concerned. I had been sick since Christmas. This is February now. And I just progressively was getting more sick. I was noticing everything swelling up. I was noticing really hard to do things, extra hard to do things. And that day, when I called in, Tyler Nauman, my employer, picked up the phone and he said, you got to go to the doctor. I said, yeah. And I did have an appointment scheduled, but he said, you got to go now. I said, I will in a little bit. I said, what do you mean? I said, I'll call my dad. He'll come get me and take me to the hospital. And
And you were kind of like, ah, I'm not going to do it. I
I'm
don't
not
want to
trying
do
to call
it.
my pops, you know. I'm like,
Yeah,
I might
right.
be able to get out of this. And
Yeah.
so but you know, I also knew I needed it in me.
Yeah.
But I'm starting thinking like, fuck, you know. So I let it sit for like 2 hours, and I got a phone call from Tyler again, and it picked up, and he said, Riley, are you going to the hospital? I said, yeah, my dad's coming to get me in a little bit. All of a sudden I heard my dad's voice. He was on a three-way call, which I didn't know, and he said, Riley, what's going on? I didn't even call him. And immediately I started going at Tyler. I said, what? You call my dad? I'm 38 years old, and you know, and Riley, we're worried. We need to get you. And my dad, Riley, stop him. I'm on my way to your house. And he said, Dad, give me half an hour. He said, I'm on my way now.
No.
Yeah, he screwed me up, and we didn't talk much on that car ride. I cried. He did too a little bit. Just he support, you know. That wasn't the time for verbal direction.
Yeah.
It was the time for me to go to the hospital,
Yep.
get some help. And so I checked in there, and emergency room right away. Got on the clock. It was 222 kilograms, or right around there. It was 501 pounds. I couldn't believe that. That's the first time I saw that number.
What did you think you were at?
450, 440.
No.
And, you know, I'm like, what? So I got jeans on and a hoodie on.
Yeah.
But
You're like, this scale's
regardless, they didn't even care about that right away. They were really concerned about the water I was retaining on my legs and my arms. My face was swollen.
Yeah, so at this point, what was happening? The fluid was
So
outside.
those are signs. You can look at anything, but basically things are shutting down.
Yeah.
Your heart's working too hard. Your liver's not pumping out. It's something's going on. And you know, you get in there and it's all kind of a blur. You know, you're strapped up to all sorts of stuff. Everything's off, and then you start the testing process because they want to determine what's wrong with you exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so you're doing. I think I had 6 different, MRIs, CT scans, all different types of doctors coming in. And then honestly, I just kind of knocked out. I was so beat and just drained. And I remember them waking me up to 2 more tests. And they couldn't get me into an MRI tube because I was too big. So they had to wait. And there's 2 of them or whatever, and they wait for the bigger one. That delayed it by like another 8 hours. I'm thinking, what the fuck? They can't even get me in here to do the tests. So they had to get out whatever they use when you have the babies and do that shit around just to try to make sure my heart was all right.
Yeah.
Just right away. And that was, you say that, it's humbling. It's beyond humbling. It's embarrassing. It made me mad. I'm like, man, this is how far it's gone, And I remember when they came down to take me down to one of the tests, 4 different transporter people from the hospital came, and they were prepared to lift me into a bed. They didn't even think I could walk. I got up and they were amazed. Like, oh my God, be okay. I'm like, what are you talking about?
That's the resilience right there.
They were like, they're like, he's standing up? I was like, yo. I was just started dancing. So I was like, so yeah.
This
so
isn't your 600-pound life.
No, yeah, what? And so that was, so yeah, hospital stay was about 6 days. And it came back. Thank God. The heart wasn't, in the terrible place. There was a lot of stuff that was screwed up. Liver's bouncing back. It bounced back good. That was crazy. It's a lot of stuff. And the sum of all of it, the doctor sat down and said, all of this stuff is related to how much you weigh, how heavy you are, and your lifestyle. And he said, I will keep it. He goes, you're young, you have a lot of life left, but you're not going to see 40 if you don't make some changes.
At this point,
I'm in the hospital.
How old are you?
39. At that point, 38.
You were 38.
38.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm in the hospital bed when the doctor tells you need to make some drastic changes if you want to see 40. And you have your dad standing next to you.
Yeah.
And your mom across the way. And your phone been going nuts all week about everybody making sure you're all right. I just thought, man, how unfair it would be to myself and to all these people if I didn't even try. So, got out of the hospital. Then I spent a couple days with my parents. I was just kind of sleeping, and I didn't even want to come upstairs because I was just didn't want to look at them. And so that's why that was it.
At that moment in the hospital and then going back to your parents, I mean, I can only imagine what was going through your head, right? What was honestly going through your head at that point?
Embarrassed, but there was always part of me that said I'm going to be able to do this.
Yeah.
I set a goal with my dad to try to get to 300 pounds. We didn't set a time. He just said, rather, let's just try to get you around 300. Let's just I'm here to do whatever I can.
Yeah.
And he would, and they do. Whatever I need, and so would all my people. But
Yeah.
you feel like it's a burden to ask them to do stuff, but it's really not. They're really just trying to help. But
Yeah.
the feeling was, this is going to be a pretty fucking tough task here.
Yeah. Because at that point, you were kind of like, do you think you were giving up at that point? Or did it hit you a little harder of like, I see my parents in the hospital with me, and all of my friends, family, whoever's reaching out, right? Concerns about you, that, this is what it had to come to. Do I want to throw in the towel, or do I want to, keep going? Because I have so much love and support surrounded by me to help.
I wanted to keep going, but I knew I was going to try.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how I was going to try.
Yeah.
And I didn't know really what to start with. I knew I had to change my eating right away.
Yeah.
And I knew I had to quit drinking.
Yeah. And then from that day, you were in the hospital, right?
Yeah.
You completely stopped drinking.
Yeah.
Cold turkey, right?
Yeah, the doctors were concerned about that too.
Yeah.
They thought that there was going to be, withdrawals type stuff. And I knew that wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, got out the hospital, cold turkey, quit drinking that day.
Yeah.
And I had to start eating different.
So those were the two main things where you're like, I know right now, two things that I can control.
Yeah, that's
are
100% is. I
stop
knew
drinking.
I could do that.
Yeah, stop drinking and eat healthier, make better choices.
Yeah,
right?
eat way healthier, stop drinking, and I knew I could control those things.
Right, because that was something more controllable for you, right?
Sure.
Versus then the next step, right? Okay, so from February to April timeframe, what did that look like? So, right?
Yeah, knowing I was on the bounce back, I was feeling a little bit better on some things, and I would see, weight starting to drop, but it just wasn't. That was, it wasn't. A lot of that weight was the water weight from the hospital, the stuff coming off me, but it was just so hard to do anything still.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I could control putting the cup down. I could control having better food around, eating better food.
Uh-huh.
But I was super stuck. I was almost more stuck than when I went in because I just, it's like, what are you going to go lift weights, go bench press quick, go back. Maybe go walk a little bit, but I just couldn't even do it. It just was so hard to get this bounce going. And I just, like I said, I was almost more stuck because I didn't know, all right, I made a little bit of changes. This might be a little more sustainable, but you're still so far out. At that point, I'm still almost 400 pounds.
Right. Do you think through that, it was just the heaviness, like mentally? Like physically, you're already exhausted, right? You're carrying around, you're hospitalized at 501 pounds, right? And then you're dropping that water weight. And so physically, you're already carrying so much. You're exhausted 24/7. Do you think it was more the mental state of like, where do I even begin this journey? Like, I am fucking 501 pounds. Like, how do I even go to that next step?
It was.
Who's going to help me? How do I get there?
It was just it was a desperate feeling because I've tried things before and I've done different things and I've paid for these trainers. I went to this gym and stuff has worked.
Yeah.
It's never been sustainable. And the mental part there when I got out was like, fucking overwhelming. You're like, damn. And then you think, oh, these changes I'm making gonna mess me up so bad where I'm not happy and like having fun.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Is it worth us buckling down and like changing everything you've been doing? It's like, yeah, it is, but you see the long term might be worth it, but temporarily was it worth it? Like that minute, was it worth it?
Yeah.
That nights or those days when you're like, damn, I'm just, yeah. So I think mentally it started hitting to the point where I was real stuck too. Especially, when I started making these right choices, a couple months go by and then I'm still just not anywhere near I want to be.
Yeah.
And I was stuck for sure with it. And I just tried to find out, tried to be open to ideas, but I wasn't comfortable with a lot of people talking about what to do and where to do it.
Yeah. What did you think about like fitness at that point, or like health and wellness as a whole? Like
I thought I couldn't, because I can't. Right. I think it'd be nice to be able to go run. I think it'd be nice to just be able to go pick up a game of basketball and just get 15 minutes of runs in, but I just knew I couldn't.
Yeah.
So I was kind of jealous, but also there's part of me that I always thought I was better than just having to like do resistance bands or anything like that, basic step stuff. And it's like, oh man, I don't got to do that.
Yeah. So there was a lot of emotions in regards to, I would say, your ego probably being like, I don't need to do basic one-on-one stuff, right? There was another part of you that was still going through and not accepting that your conditions and where you were at.
Yeah, Right? Yep. It was just,
Because again, like you're going through this whole mental state, the mental state of you didn't believe that you'd be at 501 pounds, right? You're having, drinking, all the things, right? Bad habits, all these things. And like, in a sense, like you didn't really want to look yourself in the mirror and be like, is this really my life right now?
Especially after I heard it, and saw the number. Self-perception is one thing. When you look at yourself, when you see yourself one way, it's like if you first see yourself on a video camera or something, you're like, wow, I sound like that, or I hear like, I look like that.
Right, yeah.
But when you actually see the doctor tell you that in the number, and then you see, it's like, that it's a shot at your ego, because then you realize you're not who you think you were.
Yeah.
It's like, I know my heart's good.
Yeah.
My intentions are good, but I know physically, mentally, everything, who I actually was, I thought I was someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it's some deep stuff, right? To be vulnerable and self-reflect on, and everything that had stacked over time, right? But just like proof again that like there is more to life, right? More life.
Yeah.
And who you are as a person and how you show up for everyone on the front end, right? You were showing up for everyone else, but not Riley, right? And that caught up to you over time. That's what created where you were of February of 2025, right?
Yep.
And everything that you didn't want to believe or be in that position, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, props to you for self-reflecting.
Thank you, dog. Props to you. I mean, we'll get into that, but thank you.
No, it's real though. Like, and for you to be vulnerable and to share your story, it's not an easy thing at all, right? Like, that's not easy to be vulnerable, but more people relate to that, and it's inspiring, right? Like, at the end of the day, yes, you didn't like who you were at, from 300 to eventually getting to 501 pounds. That's not you. That's not who you are, right? But it was you, right? And that's okay to highlight that, but like, that's in the past, right?
Yeah, I think too with it is for how I am. Me being vulnerable is me taking off that cape.
Yeah.
Letting me telling everybody my story, me being emotional about it.
Yeah.
Is part of me saying this is who I am.
Yeah.
And I can be proud of what I'm doing, and even where I was, I'm still proud of where I was and where I was.
Yeah.
But me opening this all up to you and to everybody is like, this is what it's supposed to be like when you find yourself. And this is how you need to look yourself in the mirror and be like, yeah, I just went out there and knocked out a podcast with my buddy, with my trainer, and I let a lot of things off the chest that have been bottled up.
Yeah.
and it is real.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, as much as I'm not proud of things, then be proud of what you're doing now, and let's get it going, because it's like I already feel better, like 15 minutes into this than I did when we started about it.
Yeah.
It's already I can feel this pressure that you felt on me, that
Yep.
everybody who don't even know me that well felt on me, from you just in here coming off me. Right now I can feel it coming off me.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's getting more comfortable. So if I can make my life more comfortable by letting my things out,
Yeah.
then yeah.
It's, in hopes of inspiring other people that might be in a challenge of their life. It doesn't necessarily always have to be weight loss, but this is part of it, right? But also talking about like mental health is such a big piece of this pie as well, because those two go hand in hand. Everyone wants to look at the physical aspect of you and like quick to judge of like, oh, that person's fat or overweight and all the things, or that person's fit, all these things. And I don't love that, because you also don't know what that person is going through mentally. And that was a big piece of my journey through everything of your lifestyle and your work, right? You're consistently people pleasing, right? And do you think that was a mask for your weight gain over, the 20 years of being in the industry?
I know it was. I know now it was.
Yeah.
At the time I didn't, but that's the thing, is that's what masks are. You're not supposed to know what they are,
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely was.
Because I feel like just since I've known you for 10 years, a little bit of backstory, but I bartended at Hawks Landing, Diamond's Hawks Landing throughout college. I went to Edgewood, and that's how Riley and I met. And I've always known you as like the big brother, life of the party, making sure that everyone is taken care of. Like no matter what, it didn't matter, right? And it's just like, that's Rawls. That's Rawls A. Like he gets shit done. He handles it. He'll make sure he'll make the best decision that he thinks is right. Like that's who you are as a person, right?
Yeah.
And I think over time, specifically being in the industry too, you're constantly appeasing people, right? Like we're in the service industry, right? You're constantly serving people, making sure they're coming in, having a good time, because you want them to come back, right? And everyone knows you, right? Like you have such a big community for a reason, because of like who you are. But I think also, and correct me if I'm wrong, do you think over time of this journey, did that catch up with you?
Oh yeah, it
Right?
did. It did, and it's like that's a fact. It did. I think that one of my goals with all this is try to realize that there's going to be more setbacks and things that are going to happen to me here.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have caught this a little earlier than I did. And so if I can get ahead of some of the next setbacks, the next challenges, the next mask, by realizing that now you can find people to help you, find ways to get it out, and just. I think that something was wrong with me for a while, where it's like I thought everybody else is just going to be quick to judge with it, and it's a burden by asking for help.
Yeah.
But really, that would make everything and them happier, yourself happier, easier if you just ask, if you just reach out.
Because people want to help, right?
Especially when you're a good person. No one's going to help some slime, but if you're a good dude and you have good intentions and you're doing the right thing, they want to help me, of course, because I want to help them.
Yeah.
And I thought this, almost have to be like the Superman of it, where it's like, I can always be there. But then when I'm down bad, I would never accept the help.
Yeah.
And that just caught up. It really did.
Yeah.
And you're going to be paying repercussions for it. I am every day. And that's part of this, the hardest part about this is like trying to get this movement back, trying to do all this because of these choices I've made. Mm-hmm. Accepted that we got to move on from it, but also, damn, it's a process,
Yeah.
And if I could just help somebody get ahead of that a little bit.
Yeah.
That's all worth it for me.
If it was easy though, everyone would do it, right?
Yeah.
It's a journey. Like a journey is a journey, right? None of this is linear at all.
I'm doing this thing myself, eating better for the drinks now, all that. I'm still stuck, and I got a message from Shania, and she was asking if she could come pick up some bartending hours. She said, I'm going through some stuff, shotgun moving back from Milwaukee. I worked with her in the past. She's great. So I was like, of course, whatever you need. I remember she sent me a message said I'm down bad, and I've never ever like since I've known her thought like this little queen can be down bad, and she's always overconfident. She's just and for her to say it to me, I was like, nah. I remember the message. I was like, you're not never down that bad. You're good. Come on in. We got some work. Let's get it going. So we started working together. We started bartending, and I would notice at the end of some shifts and stuff, you know, she was more quiet than she usually was. She wasn't asserting herself and stuff. She didn't want to be there really type stuff. And work was great, but also I could tell she was off a little bit. And she started opening me up about some things and about where she's going in terms of, you know, she doesn't want to just be in the hospitality industry. She's got a passion for fitness. And this whole time I've seen her just doing her thing, like looking good, looking tough, looking strong, fit, staying working out.
But I was going through some personal challenges myself through that. And, you know, what I know is bartending, I did the corporate thing and sales and all of that. And at the time I had lost my job. And I reached out to Riley because, like I said, he's that go-to person of just like making sure you're taken care of. And I know he would never like ask any questions unless I presented it to him, right? And I was in a really dark, deep season of my life. I moved back from Milwaukee to Madison. I'm living with my sister, and Riley's like, "Yep, no problem. We actually could use you right now.
Yeah, we got it going at work.
We need some help." And bartending together, you know, I'm just focusing on my stuff. But like through that season, like I was down mentally, you know, and this is where the mental health comes into play. Of you can only talk to your friends and family so much of what you're going through, right? And for me, it was the mental health that was a challenge for me. That's what I was going through. And, you know, I would bartend shifts, and I just one bartending day, I was like, Rawls, like, this is what's going on. Like, I want to be transparent with you. I never asked for help either, like, because I felt weak. I've always figured my shit out. I've always, you know, worked hard and all the things in between, but I just was transparent because I think it's very important.
When you opened up to me too about that, that's what instantly, like, I was always cool with you and comfortable with you, but that's what made me, something clicked, and I said, man, I'm helping her right now, and maybe she can help me a little bit too.
Yeah.
And I just instantly felt like that connection that happened, that whatever serendipity that night, that moment.
Yeah.
It just kind of worked for both of us, I think, where it started going.
Right, yeah. So, like, through that, right? So, fast forward, like, I'm bartending, I'm just showing up to work and I'm out, you know, not really talking much to people. And I'll never forget it, but it was that Thursday night, and this is, you know, such a, I'll never forget it, but Thursday night, and I'm honed in on myself, focused on myself, working out religiously, going to get mental. I wasn't going to therapy, but I was doing sound healing, and that was helping me immensely because at the point you were like, wow, I've never seen you down this bad before, but I'm seeing you get your light again, Shania. And I was like, wow, thank you so much. You know, like, hasn't been easy, but this is a good day today, you know? And he goes, will you help me? And I was like, oh my God, Riley. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I've just had this crazy intuition that I wanted to help you so bad, but I wanted you to have enough courage, which comes from the heart that shows me that you're ready, right? And from there, that was our conversation. And then your response was like taken back, right? You were almost like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was almost a long shot out because it's like, she's a pretty high level athlete and trainer, and it's like, I was almost just looking for a suggestion or a guide of here, yeah, I'll help you a little bit. But I had no idea how all in she was going to go. But that was her thing. We said right away. And she's like, you know, if I do, you have to commit to this.
Yeah, but like going back, so this is the funny story. So he's like, you know, I'm just like, hell yeah, man, let's do this shit. And he's like, whoa, like did not expect it, right? No. But you always say, and I always go back to this, I had no idea Riley was watching me, right? Like, so while I'm going through my challenges, Riley has his challenges, right? And I knew that, like, to a degree. I'm, you know, getting caught up in the story from Tyler and Justin and everyone, because I wanted to know where you were at, because I care about you. You're like a big brother and just a good ass dude. And through that, I was like, God, you know, like, always been my passion is health and wellness and being a trainer and helping people. And I, like, again, had that intuition. And when I said that, it was almost like you were, like, surprised. You were, like, almost like, what? Are you sure? Like, what are you talking about?
I don't think she realized what type of project she was going to send into at first. Cause
not really, you know, like, I had no, like, if someone were to ask me, you know, train someone that was 501 pounds, I'm like, who the hell am I to train someone like that? You know, like, in the best way. Like, I mean that in the best way of, like, the credibility of, like, you know, I'm used to the athlete mentality and all of these things, but it changed me for the better. But it was funny that night because Riley's like, all right, perfect, let's start next week. And I was like, no.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I got to even figure out if I got some shorts ready, all that. And she was like, yeah, let's start next week. And Shania instantly was like, I'm picking you up tomorrow.
I was like,
I started backpedaling like, oh, well, I might have something to do tomorrow. And then she's like, no.
I was like, if we're doing this thing, like, we're starting tomorrow because you've already burnt too many days. Like, I was just, and that's, we have respect for each other. We're like, I'm a straight shooter. Like, I'm going to tell it how it is. And I did. And I was like, no, Riley, if I'm committing to this and you're committing to me, we're starting tomorrow. And he's like, you know what? Respect. So at the time I lived with my sister in Mount Horeb. And from there, I would show up, let him know, because the funny thing you learn about your partner in crime is let him know 15 minutes in advance so he shows up at the front door in time. Otherwise, you're waiting for a half hour and pounding on his door.
Sometimes 30 minutes in advance.
Wake up, man.
Shania, ever since we've been rocking like this, she's always been overly punctual on it. But I have noticed that I push it to a limit, so now it's to the point where I am actually on time and she's running a little late. It's also because she actually meant to be there a little late.
Yeah.
But no, she comes scoop me up the first day.
Every day.
Right at the house. And we've talked quite a bit right away.
What was our official start date?
17th.
No, 15th.
15th of July. Sorry.
Coming up.
I tell you I'm a little late with this sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she come and, you know, I still had this facade in me that I was going to be able to do more. I was like, well, I remember like going out to, we went to Elver Park because that's right where I'm from. And I like playing football in high school when we had to do like, you know, camps, we'd go to the top of Elver. And you see the west side, you see Raymond, you see everywhere where I'm from. Yeah. So it was like, she's not from Madison, so I was like, I was going right where I started. Mm-hmm. So we went back to Elver. You know, to do that hill alone now, anytime is crazy hard. But
which our first, so I documented the whole journey. So at this point, you're 390 probably?
Yeah, about 390.
390. And you want to tackle Elver Park.
Yeah. We walked it up sideways the first day. But we go and shooting all these ideas, and it's almost like every idea, because I get excited about stuff, was like every idea we were going to do, almost like she would come back with the same idea, just a little improved with her own on it. It was like we were synced with our idea with this right away.
Yeah.
But the thing she said too, like I said, and I've stayed to it, is like you have to listen to me, you have to be truthful with me.
Yep.
And you can't, you know, you can't. She knew I wasn't gonna waste her time.
Yeah.
But we went to Elver, and I remember saying like, oh, like a couple of weeks, hopefully I'll be able to run this. And she started smiling. She said, buddy, we're gonna be walking for a long time. And so maybe like a month or two, and she just kept it under her chest. And I also didn't notice at the time, but she wore one of those goofy weight vests to Elver.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking, I was like, what is she out here trying to do? Damn. You know, trying to show me up type thing. But she was just trying to prove now. We talked later on it, and she told me at Christmas time, just that extra weight having on there. She was just trying to like kind of put it in perspective of.
I wanted to feel what a fraction of what Riley was feeling and carrying. That's what I wanted to feel. I didn't do it to be, you know, like, oh, I'm going to sweat more.
G.I. Jane or nothing.
G.I. Jane up in here. Like,
she didn't ever say why she did it.
No, because that, I didn't.
It kind of messed them because I'm like, man, that's cool. She's thinking like that.
Like, I wanted to feel what you were going through, right? Because I already knew all of this was heavy, mentally, physically, emotionally. Like, everything that you could have felt, and then some, right? And I'll never forget it, right? And he's the GPS, you know. I always joke that he's like the old broken one our parents had, and it tells you to go wrong, the dead end road, but somehow you still find your way there. But so we go to Elver Park, and honestly, I had no expectations going into this because in the interim, like, I'm applying for jobs because I've always been in sales. But I just knew in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't want to work for someone, and I didn't really know what to expect. So I was like, well, I have really nothing to lose, you know, bartending on the side, trying to get my feet back under me. And I start recording this and I post it on Instagram, and I'm not kidding, like, getting blown up by so many people outreaching of like, this is fucking awesome. Like, the fact that you guys are starting this is amazing. Riley came up with the More Life because it is about more life, right? Everything, obstacles that you went through, as much as like when you're at your lowest, there are like, it's like that devil on your shoulder that you want to tap out and like give up. But life is such a beautiful thing, and especially when you have so many people around you supporting you and wanting nothing but the best for you. And, you know, I think society puts so much pressure on us as a whole and defines you on your age, you know, that like once you hit 40, everything's downhill from there. Well, that's a fucking lie, right? I'm so sick of these timelines that society puts on us.
That's
like,
one thing that you probably get over
Right.
too, is like realizing I'm on my own timeline.
Yeah.
And like some of the stuff, whatever, all the mental work Shania's been putting on herself too,
Yeah.
I get a bonus because she's putting this mental work on herself, and I'm with her so much hands on that I get some of this afterburn,
Yeah.
which is dope.
Right.
And accepting that you're on your own timeline, you know?
Yeah.
Like this is no one's other path. No one has this path, this template for what you're doing with your
No.
with you know your training.
No.
No one has this path for me on my journey, and accepting that you don't have to have the family, the kids, the boat by 40.
Right.
That timeline has been like a huge
Or
pillar.
that your friends are married and have kids already.
Yeah, I
and
should
they're
have a
starting their
girl.
life.
Ooh, yeah.
That doesn't, just because that's their timeline doesn't mean it's your timeline, right? You're in a different season and you can still have all of those things. But let's draw back to when we first got started. So we're at Albert Park, right? It's our first day together and we make it up to the hill, okay? And I'm seeing some emotions coming,
Yeah.
right? You started tearing up.
Yeah.
Walk me through, like, tell me what you said to me, and I'll never like forget it. Like that day, and we accomplished that.
I think in that moment, I think it was that my nieces and nephews.
Yeah, the sledding part.
Yeah, they wanted to
Yeah.
go sledding, and I was doing.
Last Christmas, right?
Yeah, last Christmas, and I knew I wouldn't be able to go because I couldn't get up the hill. So I just made some stuff up and just said I was busy, I couldn't go.
Right.
And I think when I got to that hill, that was part of the reason I wanted to get into, because like that's that's where it was at, and it was really hard for me. And I told her, I said, I wanted to come to this hill and do this because I want to be able to do that with my nieces and nephews, you know, as a man should, as an
Yeah.
uncle should.
And through that, you told me that like a lot of the times, you know, people would ask you to go do things aside from like drinking or whatever,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't have enough energy or
Yep.
feel up for it because it was like too much energy and effort for you to like go do simple
Yeah,
things, right?
I said I just want to be able to do normal stuff. Like
Yeah.
people invite you to a Packer game. It's like, do I feel good enough to go?
Right.
Or do I even got a Packer shirt that fits?
But so in that moment, on top of Elvert Hill, Elvert Park, right?
Yep.
The death hill for anyone, seriously.
There's a big
I
ass
swear.
hill.
Big ass hill. Do you think in that moment that's what everything shifted and changed?
I do. I think it did for me because I realized I was taking steps, even to get out of the bed to go to that hill and do that. And then to know that I had somebody on my hip who was going to help push me through this. Because even that day, I was trying to cut it short. And Shania was like, we can make it down around this loop. We got to the parking lot. And she said, let's just go down this other long.
Yep.
And I think that day it shifted because I realized that this chick's not going to let me down.
Yeah.
And she wants it just as bad as I do, if not
Yeah.
more. So, yeah, it definitely did.
All right, brother. I think we wrap it up here. That's some more life.
Hey.
Love it.